I decided to join a draft league after several years of not playing Pokemon. A draft league is where you select from a pool of available Pokemon and create a roster of 10 to 12 Pokemon to compete against other players. This allows for creative interactions. Moves or items that typically see little to no usage can be run to counteract an opponent's strategy, allow Pokemon that are considered very niche to shine. With the 10th pick, I was able to select Tornadus Therian, which was my very first Pokemon that I ever drafted many years ago. Tornadus has an amazing speed set of 121, and with disrupting moves like Taunt, Knockoff, and U-Turn, it's one of the most versatile Pokemon in the game. I can make it defensive with an Assault Vest or Rocky Helmet, or an offensive Pokemon with Nasty Plot and Flying Fighting coverage. Flying Fighting coverage is among the best in the game, and it also has access to Heat Wave if I don't really want to miss Focus Blast against Steel types. With the next pick, I decided to go with Iron Hands, which benefits greatly from Tornadus U-Turn. It has great bulk in its HP and defense, and if I want to make it especially defensive, I can because of its amazing HP stat. It has great setup opportunities with Swords Dance and Iron Defense when you pair it up with its bulk. If they have an Intimidate Pokemon, I can go Iron Defense and make it even more difficult to kill on the physical side. It's another pivot with Volt Switch if I do decide to go that route. It has Drain Punch to increase its longevity, Close Combat for a little bit more immediate power, and if they have Electric Train, or if I set up my own Electric Train, it has the Quark Drive ability. Unfortunately, it does have Quark Drive as an ability, and basically that's not an ability unless I want to go with Booster Energy, in which case I don't have an item, but it happens. With the next pick, I decided to go with Tinglu, along with Tornadus and Iron Hands, makes it so that my team is very difficult to KO. Tinglu only has a few weaknesses, and its ability, Vessel of Ruin, makes it so that even special attackers have a difficult time knocking it out. I can basically allow my Tinglu to cover my opponent's biggest threat because of its amazing HP and defense stat and its ability, Vessel of Ruin. It's going to be my entry hazard setter with Stealth Rock and Spikes, and there are a lot of creative things that I can do with Tinglu that you might be able to see later on in the season. After Tinglu, I decided to go with a Terra Captain, Revroom. Revroom was among the best Terra Captains available. It has access to Shift Gear to increase its speed greatly and increase its attack stat as well. Decent coverage with Poison, Steel, and Fire, and with Terra Blast, I can go with whatever coverage that my Terra type is, and it has Toxic Spikes, it has Parting Shot. It's a pretty good utility Pokemon as well with Steel and Poison. I definitely needed a Fairy Resist with Iron Hands and Tinglu already on my team, and Revroom 4 times resist Fairy type moves. And with my next pick, I decided to go with Ogerpon, Wellspring. Ogerpon by itself can complete a Fire Water Grass Core. It has great setup moves with Leech Seed, Taunt. It's another disruptor like Tornadus with Knockoff. Good coverage in Grass Water, can set up Swords Dance, it can be another sweeper for me, it can be another defensive Pokemon with Water Absorb and like whatever defensive route that I go, because grass types are pretty good in that aspect. There's a crit set, Focus Energy, Ivy Cudgel. It's another entry hazard user with Spikes. And with my next pick, I decided to go with Dragonite. Pokegame told me to select this Pokemon. It's only him, to be honest. Also D-Knight ass, non-Terra, and by ass I mean average. It's still good, just not broken. So for that reason, I'm out. You should get it, which is the next Pokemon that I'm thinking of getting. D-Knight Shmee-Knight, but I decided to go with D-Knight Shmee-Knight anyway. D-Knight is not good if brainless, unless you're CB. It's legit not great. I brought it 3 times in PPL. Terra makes it busted. E-Speed banned. Gives you cleanup. Arc does the same and cooler and faster, to be honest. So I decided to go with Dragonite. I definitely wanted another Pokemon that has immediate power. Iron Hands does have immediate power, but I would have to use moves like Close Combat and Wild Charge over Thunder Punch and Drain Punch. So that limits me into the type of moveset that I bring with Iron Hands. But Dragonite has good moves like average moves, but it has a little bit more, it has better coverage with the moves that it's clicking with Outrage, Dragon Claw, Fire Punch, Earthquake, Extreme Speed, and it's more flexible with its item choices. Because a Choice Banded Dragonite is going to be a little bit better than a Choice Banded Iron Hands, because Iron Hands I typically want to, I don't know if a Choice Band Iron Hands is that great, especially because Electric Fighting has immunities. Well, I guess Dragon does have immunities, but at the same time, like, they're pretty obvious that what's gonna come in. Anyways, fairies aren't the best defensively, but neither are Ghosts. Anyways, Pokemon alluded to the next Pokemon that I was going to draft, which is Hon Arcanine. It is a Stealth Rock user. Unfortunately, the one thing about Hon Arcanine that I dislike is that its speed is not 95 like regular Arcanine, and it's 90. I would have really liked to hit that 95 tier, but you can't win them all, right? It has access to Stealth Rock, Intimidate, Rock Head, Head Smash, Flare Blitz. It's Now this is a Pokemon that you can make Banded and just do a bunch of damage. In VGC, everyone runs it Banded. In Regulation E, it fell off though because nobody really uses this Pokemon anymore. Stealth Rock, it's another Extreme Speed user. With Hisuian Arcanine, I have what? How much priority? Extreme Speed on it, Extreme Speed on Dragonite, Aqua Jet on Dragonite. I think that is it. But Hisuian Arcanine, it completes the Fire Water Grass core with Ogre Pond Wellspring by itself. Has Will-O-Wisp for burn opportunities. I just really want another Pokemon that has utility with Intimidate and Extreme Speed, and that's pretty much all I needed. Drifliim was the next Pokemon that I drafted, and it is another Terror Captain. And I've used Drifliim before, and it's only worth 5 points, but it's incredibly strong. It can easily sweep teams with Calm Mind. It got access to Strength Sap since I last used it. It can go physical as well if you want to go acrobatics, maybe even flare boost, whatever that ability is if you want to. It's very versatile. Ghost Flying is a pretty unique typing. If I do want to go the route of just doing a bunch of chip with hazards and priority, I can give it the Aftermath ability to help prevent my Pokemon from being swept. And overall, just a great Pokemon. Can sweep, Terror Captain, great. One of the GOATs. With my 9th pick, I decided to go with Dondozo. Now Dondozo, it prevents cheese. It has the ability Unaware. It's very bulky. Yawn access. If they want to cheese me with some setup Pokemon, Unaware, right there, you can't do anything about it unless they have a super effective move or they're special or they have Encore or something like that. But I'm gonna be prepared for that probably, hopefully, I don't know. It has it's similar to Tinglu, in which like it's a very defensive Pokemon, but it can also hit very hard if I do want to go for that. That's a bulky water, and bulky waters are always nice to have. 150 HP, 100 attack, 115 defense. Iron Hands with 154 HP, 140 defense, 108 defense. Tinglu, 155 HP, 110 attack, 125 defense. Like, my team can take hits and deal a lot of damage on the physical side. Rest Talk, Curse. Dondozo's great. And with my last pick, I decided to go with Comfey. Another Pokemon with access to priority and its ability with Triage, Draining Kiss, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Taunt, Lead Seed, another Disruptor knockoff. It is my 2nd or 3rd knockoff user. I don't know if Drifloon gets knockoff. It's a fairy Pokemon, just to give me another Dragon Resist / immunity. Lead Seed, Synthesis. Did I mention Taunt? Great speed tier and 100 speed. It's another sort of anti-Cheesemon because of the Triage ability, Draining Kiss. And if you're not expecting it, like Calm Mind, Draining Kiss can and will sweep you.